In terms of identity fraud, identity theft, whatever it's called, buyer side, which I guess would be more somebody committing fraud to try to get the money from the buyer instead of the closing attorney getting it, would be the worry. But, on the seller and the buyer side, what is in place in closing offices in Georgia to help solve that problem? And it might not even be available in everybody's office, but what's in place to help solve those problems?
The hardest thing is not trusting and believing in people. So a good case of what's missing the most is being suspicious and thinking somebody's doing wrong. So more people have gotten to where they understand an individual, we got to track them down. And so on an individual, let me see your driver's license, take a picture of it. You're talking to them, you're trying to verify it. You ask the agents, for our perspective, you ask the agents, does it feel crazy? Or the agents can ask us, is there a way to verify it? And I'll tell you about that in a minute with IntelliCheck. But what I've thought about since then is a good case of, hey, we got to be suspicious about this. And everybody is a potential fraudster, which is terrible because almost nobody is a potential fraudster. Okay? But it's terrible, so we got to go, all right, so this is an LLC. Let me have your operating agreement. It's a small LLC. They don't have an operating agreement. Someone can literally step in, take their name off of the website, Secretary of State website, act like them, come up with a fake ID, say they don't have any operating agreements, and proceed to say, I'm the only person. And we don't have any way of proving they're not unless we do the IntelliCheck fraud.
And how does that work?
Which is something that no one does. No one does.
So how does that work? What happens behind the scenes to figure out that it's fraud?
So I'm the fraudster.
Okay. And I'm the closing attorney, reputable closing attorney. Okay.
And you basically tell me, you've got a 10-minute window that we need, and I need your identification, and I'll need you available on a cell phone, and it has to be a cell phone. You can't use WhatsApp or anything. It's got to be a true cell phone number.
Okay.
So I need your cell phone number. I need your identification because you're going to have to take a picture of it.
Yep.
And front and back. And you start doing that, and first of all, they start, I lost my license or whatever. So we'll go get a passport or go do something, or else we're not selling. And so we have caught 2 people like that. In that 10-minute window, you take those pictures, it goes for verification with the front and back, and the cell phone number is being pinged to figure out where they are. If they say they're in Wisconsin and they're really in California. And so they know that it's going on. And they also say this phone is not registered to this person, and the identification doesn't match.
Oh, wow.
And I say it's fairly reliable. We've caught 2 people.
What would happen with you and the title insurance company if somebody were able to get by with fraud because it was not verified? I know it wouldn't happen with you, but I'm just saying if there was a problem, what would you and the title insurance company have to do about it?
Well, the title insurance company at that point's on the hook. And so y'all might not know this, but title insurance companies, we get some percentage of the revenue of the title insurance premium, but the title insurance company will pay out that claim, assuming there was no buyer fraud in conjunction with the seller, right? Clean hands, basically.
Yep.
But then they could come to us and say, okay, how did this happen? What did you do? And if we're sitting there going, oh yeah, we just took their word for it and we didn't have that healthy dose of suspicion, then they can argue, well, you should pay this claim, and they could ask for reimbursement, which is a feature of our relationship with title insurance companies. And that's why we're very strict on title insurance issuance.